Alright, ladies and gents, welcome to this video. My name is Taylor Venture and I want to talk to you today about 1 year versus 10 years and really just how you can think longer term in your agency. Unfortunately, when I was starting my agency, I was thinking very short term. I was always thinking in the next 3 to 6 months I could get to $100,000 per month. In the next 6 to 12 months I could get to at least $500,000 per month. And it never happened. Simply put, it took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. And there's this good quote by Bill Gates. He says that most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. Okay, so not only are we going to talk a little bit about the long term, but we're also going to talk about just shiny object syndrome and losing focus on the main thing, which has happened to me many times. And had it not happened to me, we'd be much farther along. But 2020 is basically over. By the time you're watching this video, you probably have less than a week left until this year is over, and you're going into the next year. Now, most people are planning for the next year. That's great. I think you should plan for the next year, but you should also think about the next few years and the next 5 years, and then just a little bit the next 10 years. One of the things I was thinking about now, this is the only year where we've gone into a new year, and I truly feel that for the next 10 years, I 100% I'm going to just love working inside our agency, Better AMS, and not once will I ever have the shiny object syndrome thought of launching some totally new business in some completely different area or vertical where it's completely way out of my circle of competence. I know how to build an agency. That's what I know how to do. Done for you services, acquiring clients, building systems to help service those clients, starting to get a lot of experience in the area of hiring people and training people and kind of like leadership type stuff. That's all new to me, but I'm getting experience. That's my circle of competence, okay? So I don't know how to do dropshipping. I don't know how to do all this other stuff. But there was a time when the agency wasn't growing as quickly as I wanted it to grow. And I was looking at other things because, again, it wasn't about an agency at that time when I was 19, 20, 21 years old. It was about just what can make the most money. So it's a terrible mindset to have because when you're in the mindset of, I just want to make a lot of money, you start to look at other lanes, which is why in this whiteboard we have lanes. So let me give you some context. Right now, I have 2 lanes. Really, there's only one. 90% of my time right now is going into Better AMS. I've tried to put time into Agency Enlightened over the last 30 to 60 days to get the course and the program built, but I'm really only 20% there. And it's because a lot of time is getting absorbed by Better AMS. Now, that's totally fine. I'm okay with that. I love that. But I know that I will never try to launch another business in the next 10 years. At least that's how I feel right now. Because I can't even just get the second one going over the last 30 to 60 days. It's not because our agency doesn't have good systems. It's just because we are trying to grow, and we're trying to grow very, very quickly. I know this kind of sounds like a rant, but this will tie into something very valuable, and stick with me. We're trying to grow very quickly, and growth requires a lot of energy. And if you don't have a ton of team members that are all very well trained and they have the same level of innovation and the thought leadership as you do, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, everyone's exponentially better than you, the company's not really gonna grow if you don't have that. And we're starting to get that, which is absolutely amazing. We have people that we hired almost a year ago that are now starting to build some really cool things. We've had new people we've hired that are starting to do some really cool things with our culture. We just have the people in the team are starting to do some really cool stuff. And this is like infancy stages, okay? So what I'm getting at here is if you're going into 2021 and you're thinking, I got this agency, but I'm open to the idea of doing drop-shipping, or I'm open to the idea of starting a whole new agency like an SEO service or something completely radically different. And you're just looking at options. You're looking at other verticals that you can jump into to potentially make money faster. In my opinion, it's going to slow you down. You want to pick one lane and stay in that lane for 10 to 20 years. That's my opinion, okay? If you truly want to build something massive and you want to, go as far as you can possibly go, you pick one lane and you stick with it for ideally 10, 20 years, in my opinion. If you want to change lanes after 10, 20 years, that's fine. But if you want to get a company to probably 100, 200, 300 billion dollar level, in my opinion, I don't think you're going to get that done in 1 to 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, even 5 years. Okay. Yes, there's anomalies. You can look at Snapchat, you can look at Facebook, you can look at Instagram, you can look at these epic Silicon Valley tech companies. That's totally fine. I'm not looking at anomalies. I'm looking at companies that pretty much just took 10, 20 years to get up to $1 billion valuation. And those are companies that are very common. Okay, all these companies that have reached that level have taken a significant amount of time. And I'm saying this, I'm reiterating this because, again, when I was 19, I thought that our agency could get to $1 million a month by the time I was 21. I thought that I'd be a billionaire by the time I was actually 23. I should show you the goals that I wrote out when I was 19. I thought I'd be a billionaire by 23. 3-4 years, I thought it was going to be a piece of cake. I got to like 10, 20K a month in like 3-4 months when we started our agency, and I thought I was like, this is easy. 3-4 months, I got to 10, 20K a month. I was just doing the math in my head. I was like, if this keeps going up the way it's going, and it keeps accelerating, by the time I'm 23, I'll easily have made billions of dollars. Absolutely retarded. No other way to describe it. Just a lack of experience, a lack of maturity, huge ego, and I didn't know what I didn't know, basically. So here's what our goals are. Next year, we'd love to hit at least $250,000 per month. Okay, that'd be great. If we can just hit 250K in revenue for 1 month, I'll be ecstatic. Absolutely ecstatic. Because our 2023 goal, by the time 2023 starts, is to reach $500,000 per month. And that would be fantastic as well. But our 10-year goal by 2030 is to get to around $8 million per month. Now, again, that's a huge stretch. But at the end of the day, it's 2030. I mean, we're going into 2021. So it's like 9 years away. And in 9 years, I think that we can achieve a lot. Will we reach $8 million per month? There's a lot of factors in there that would need to go right that are outside of my circle of influence, such as like factors to do with the market and other things. But it's the goal. And I think that if we stay in this lane and we hire great people, and all of these people that we hire also stay in the lane for a tremendous period of time, 10 to 20 years, I think that we'll definitely crush it, personally. I think if we can build the right culture, if we can get the right talent, there's pretty much nothing that can stop us. And the market, goes our way, and we're in a good niche or industry or vertical that is, very rapidly evolving, and we're in a blue ocean. I think we are in a blue ocean. I think then, yes, this is reasonable and we can achieve it. Now, it's not about the money. It's really just about the vision and the mission, which is to become the best company in the world to work for and best results-oriented company, and not only to work for, but to work with. That is what I would consider people centricity. So people centricity is not only, treating your people well internally, but externally, which externally would be your clients. Internally would be the people that you work with, your team members. So to be the most people-centric company in the world, I think, one, we need to be recognized as one of the greatest companies in the world to work with. So by the time 2030 rolls around, Better AMS should be recognized as a company that is one of, if not the best companies in the world to work for/with. I don't want to just be known as the greatest agency to work with. I would love for us to be known as the greatest company to work with, literally on planet Earth. And I know that 10 years is a very short time frame for something like that. I think 20 years might even be totally fine. Even 30 or 40 or 50, that's totally fine. The point is we're going to stretch for that achievement in a 10-year frame. And ultimately, I won't be mad if we never achieve it in my lifetime. That's okay. The vision is a kind of a utopian view of the world, and I think that it should be something that is almost barely like within reach within your own lifetime, if you're really thinking big, because you're never, for example, if you just set the vision to where you could definitely achieve it in 2 years, well, that's not that, you're not thinking that big, and that's not really that motivating in my opinion, because then you're going to get close to hitting it and you'll just be like, oh, we don't have that far to go. It's not that motivating. I think that it's much more motivating to think a lot bigger. And so all this being said, I know this is a giant rant on our company, Better AMS, and Agency Enlightened here, but I hope that going into 2021, you stick with one company, okay? And you continue to stick with that one company for the coming years. I know that there are times when you should change tables and you should switch industries, you should switch verticals, okay? But if you have an agency doing $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 per month, in my opinion, you can definitely continue to scale. You just need the right people, and you need to build the right systems. And you need to get those people in the right seats, and you need to have the right culture for those people to thrive in. If you're at 0, 5, 10, 15, borderline 15, I think then maybe it's okay if you want to change tables or switch to something because you're at such an early stage. And if you don't like it, great, switch. But in general, it is, in my opinion, your highest and best interest to just stick with one thing for as long as possible. The person who sticks with that one thing for as long as possible will become the best at it. It's inevitable that if you truly love this thing that you're doing and you put in exponentially more hours than all the rest of the human beings on planet Earth, and you've not only worked extremely hard, but you've worked extremely smart, as smart as possible, and you've not only done this yourself, but everyone in your team has done this, and you continue to do this for 10, 20 years, I think the result is almost inevitable that you're going to grow. Again, there are certain market factors that are outside of your control, but there, in my opinion, there's just still a point where you can just keep pushing forward and keep crushing. So with all that being said, stick in one lane, try not to get distracted by other lanes. And if you do try to run 2 lanes at once, don't try to say that like Elon Musk is the perfect example. He can run 2 companies and scale them and do that very successfully. Look, again, I don't want to base my decisions off anomalies. Personally, I'm trying to get Agency Enlightened rolling, and it's not really as easy as you'd think, or as easy as I thought it was going to be. I could choose to work on it, but personally, my main focus, my main lane is the agency, right? Agency Enlightened is kind of like a passion project that I do want to take very seriously, and it is taken very seriously. However, the agency is what allows Agency Enlightened to be possible, right? If I don't have an agency, how and why would I even teach other agency owners how to scale their agency? So that's kind of my rationale for it being okay that the progress in Agency Enlightened is slower than expected, because the time is being put into the agency. I'm not sitting on the beach chilling out. I'm trying to scale this agency as quickly as possible while maintaining a great culture. So yeah, this is a giant rant on thinking longer term. Don't just think about 2021, think about 2023, 2024, 2027, 2020, 2029. And really ask yourself if you'd be okay just working in your one company for the next 10 years. Personally, I think about being a better AMS for the next 10, 20 years. I'm ecstatic. If the culture stays the same and continues to get better, if we continue to hire better people and these people continuously evolve, I'm ecstatic. Like I love the way everything is right now. And every day I wake up and I'm just like, holy shit. I hope nothing changes. I hope it continues to go as it's going, because this is fantastic and this life is absolutely beautiful. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that if that's kind of what you feel with your company, great, stay with it. Don't even look in the other direction at a different lane for 1 second. This is why I don't really have social media, and I put feed blockers on Facebook. I put feed blockers on actually I don't follow anybody on Instagram. I don't even have Instagram. I'll download it maybe once or twice every couple months or so. Lately it's been like once every couple weeks, because we're launching a Better AMS Instagram and we're gonna have to start posting. It's a kind of a team challenge thing. But I've gotten rid of any potential portals of distractions, because for me, I noticed that social media was always just like rabbit hole after rabbit hole. Someone posts this, and this is the new ultimate client attraction method that is absolutely crushing, and you can just dial in 20 to 30 new discovery calls per day. And then this is the new ultimate system that you can use to automate literally appointment setting on autopilot, or automate your service delivery, etc. Look, yes, there are many people that can teach you out there, and that's great. But at the end of the day, if you follow one basic principle, which is that you find the biggest bottleneck and you fix it, and you repeat that every single day for the next 2-3 years, and you're in a good niche that's in a blue ocean, ideally, I don't think you're going to need any courses personally. I think you could just walk away with that and never watch a YouTube video ever again. Personally, that's how I feel. I wouldn't recommend that. I still recommend you read books, because maybe there's going to be a mental model in the future that's exponentially better than that. But yeah, don't look at other lanes. Stay focused in your lane and keep going. Think 5-10 years out. Be excited. And if you try to open up another lane, be very careful about that lane that you're opening, because it's going to be much harder than you think. And even though Agency Enlightened is quite relevant to Better AMS in the sense that it's really teaching how to scale an agency, which kind of benefits our agency, because in thinking about how you scaled your agency, you get to better understand what got you to where you are, which helps you better identify the next moves that you need to make to get to the next level. So it is somewhat beneficial, but it's still very difficult, especially if you're trying to scale as quickly as possible. All right, so stick in one lane. If you open up a second lane, be very careful about the timing of when you do open that second lane, and think 5-10 years out. Don't just think next year. Think 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. All right, much love, you guys. This was a giant rant. I'm just gonna call this a giant rant. Probably not gonna give any other title for this YouTube video. Much love. Thank you. If you enjoyed this rant, hit the subscribe button. If you hated it, let me know in the comment section, and I'll do less rants. I think I was planning on going into this video with more of a structure, but it just ended up being a giant rant. Much love, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.